Ever wondered why your dog licks you, licks everyone else, maybe even barks in a particular way, has a variety of barks? Well, our next guest, Dr. Horowitz, has dedicated her life to studying questions like this and what it's like to be a dog. Dog cognition is her area of research. She's a best-selling author of the book, The Year of the Puppy, How Dogs Become Themselves. I'm really excited about this. You're going to join us in just a moment with all of your burning questions on dog life. And also, did I mention, we've got Skipper here. What a good boy.
Skipper's actually a girl.
She's a good girl.
Dr. Horowitz, good morning. So you're here to talk about the burning question we've had, which I feel like came from Tony's brain, which is why dogs lick. What do we know about that based on their ancestry?
It's a great question. I mean, it is wise to look at the ancestors of dogs. Today's wolves were descended from a wolf that dogs were as well. And if we look at their licking behavior, it tells us something. So when wolves go off and hunt and return to the pack, all the other wolves mob that returning wolf and lick around their face. And the reason they do that is they're asking the wolf to regurgitate a little bit of what they just hunted.
Like a bird?
Yeah, well, probably not a bird, maybe a deer, a moose, whatever it is. So your dog's lick of you when you come home is absolutely a greeting. You know, they're happy to see you, but also is a little bit of a request for whatever you just ate.
For a little bit of puke, okay.
Yeah, they wouldn't be unhappy.
What about the little bark? The bark of maybe they heard something, the bark of hello.
Yeah.
What do these different barks mean?
That's astute. A lot of people think barks are all just one noisy sound, but they have different barks that have different meanings. There's a bark of attention getting, right? You're not paying attention, they need to go out, the ball's under the couch. There's a bark of I'm by myself, the bark heard around New York City neighborhoods of dogs who are alone. There's a play bark. All those are different, and there are probably several other barks that humans have not deciphered. But they bark probably to communicate with us. Wolves don't bark.
So a lot of humans...
Interesting.
That is interesting. A lot of humans, so maybe they develop that as we become closer as species. But
yes.
A lot of humans, myself included, who have dogs, shout out to my dog Lava, I love you, think that they understand dogs, that dogs communicate. Oh, there she is, that's my girl. Look, Dr. Horowitz, did you see her? She's so cute. Anyway, they think that dogs communicate back, and like a whimper means a certain thing, or they have a guilty look. Humans think they understand, or they can really get what dogs are trying to say. Is that true, or are we fooling ourselves?
I mean, at some level, though they are communicating with us, we're not always good at interpreting what they're saying. So for instance, the guilty look is a great example. They look, you know the guilty look, right? When they put their ears back.
The slippers.
Right. But it turns out that look is actually just a response to us and our thinking that they've done something wrong. It's a submissive or appeasing behavior that they put on that's super cute, and there's a request to not be punished, and it usually works.
So they ate the slippers with no remorse. What about the tail wagging? I mean, that's obviously some kind of communication.
Yeah, and it's more than just a happiness, right? We think it's just happiness, but a low tail wag between the legs is anxiety or concern or nervousness, and a real high erect tail like a flag is if a dog is maybe interested in something off screen. And wants to go see.
Skipper has some good friends in the
Hi, Skip.
Dr. Horowitz, you run a dog cognition lab.
Yeah.
What do you think is the main primary thing that us Homo sapiens don't understand or misunderstand about dogs?
I think we all miss that the way we see the world, dogs smell it. They're living in an olfactory kind of parallel universe to us, and although they're really good at fitting in to the human world, their world is more about smells. We should let them sniff things. We should appreciate that that's how they're seeing the world.
By the way, this is Annie. This is Skipper's human companion.
I have one more question about this licking, just to go back to that. Don't we have concerns about germs? I mean, dogs, especially in New York City, are out there, and their noses are to the ground, and they might be licking stuff outside, and they come and lick people's faces.
Yes. Well, I mean, certainly there are germs in their mouths, but they also are using a lick to get information about the world. So if it's not something really gross, right, they're getting information about you by licking you. It actually leads to a part of their nose, which is a second olfactory organ called the Jacobson's organ. So they're smelling you by licking you. And same with other dogs.
Doctor, I think you have probably one of the top 3 coolest jobs ever. And there's probably people watching right now wondering how they become you. How do you get into this line of research?
I mean, I did accidentally. I just started studying non-human animal minds, and dogs were a great subject to study, and then they got really interesting. So
They are really interesting.
Someone can follow that path.
Thank you so much. Just a PSA for Nate Burleson's wife. Look how wonderful Skipper is. Get Nate a dog, please.